Hello, Debate This listener, and happy Tuesday to you. Hey, a little announcement here from us at DT exclamation point HQ. Life is tough, you know, and sometimes making this silly little podcast has to go after some life stuff in the priority list. And we've all been really busy. We've been traveling a bunch. Long story short, we're a little behind on episode production. So we've got something special for you today. 3 weeks ago, we released episode 191, Consequences of Whimsymaxxing. And if you are part of our Patreon, you already heard the post show to Consequences of Whimsymaxxing, which we actually recorded at a separate time, and it is almost the length of a whole podcast. Honestly, we enjoyed that discussion so much that we wanted to put it out on the main feed. So that is what we are giving to you today. This is the post show from episode 191. And if you enjoy this post show and you want more stuff like this, you can get that. All you need to do is go to our Patreon at patreon.com/debatethiscast. Join at the $5 tier and you'll get a bonus episode from us every month. Join at the $10 tier and you will get a post show for every Debate This episode that we record. And have no fear, we will be back to our regularly scheduled debating next week. We've already got the episode in the can. It's just got to get edited, produced, and then it will be live for you next Tuesday. Thank you so much for continuing to support us here at Debate This. When life gets scary and we get busy and the podcast has to go down the priority list, it always bums us out. But we know that there are people out there who do love this show, and we love putting it together for you. So every time we have to slide our schedule back, it bums us out, and we are eternally grateful for your support no matter what we're doing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot say thank you enough. I will be back with the rest of the guys next week, and I will turn it over to the post show from episode 191, Consequences of Whimsymaxxing. Without further ado, I present to you Slopify this.
Post show.
Okay, I really want to talk to you guys about all the things we have to talk about. Unfortunately, I have to go play a video game that I've paid money to play.
I love this.
Actually, do we want to record a post show at another time?
I mean, I'm down either way. I don't know.
Will we be able to carry the energy through?
I can carry this energy again.
Yeah. I mean,
I can do it later.
Yeah.
Post show.
I can't wait to stitch these together because I am not going to make it seem like it was cohesive.
No.
Good.
It's best if you just layer our 4 voices the first time and our 4 voices the second time and kind of a Gregorian monk chant.
Yeah, make it awful. A horrible cacophony of post shows.
We should do a Gregorian post show chant at some time. It's like post show.
I don't want to do that. I want to use my platform real quick. Hi, hello. I want to congratulate all of us for equally being as disinterested in today's topic as the other, including the host.
Oh yeah,
it's important.
Are we peeling back the scene to let the audience know that we took a couple days before recording this post show?
I think
we are now. You said it.
Yeah, it feels like we can tap on the glass a little bit. And I bring that up just because in the time since we recorded the episode and then due to scheduling reasons had to push back the post show, which, to be clear, we love the post show, which is why we're here doing it.
It's fine.
My brother, thank you. My brother and me has also done an episode where they talked about the Mario Brothers Galaxy, the game, the movie. And Griffin loses his shit over Chris Pratt's lack of accent.
That's a
goes
big,
on
a big like Chris Pratt felt like he was locked in that recording booth, and they wouldn't let him out until he said all of his contractually obligated lines. Was a big complaint I heard about the movie.
And they go on to like draw the comparisons about how, you know, specifically like Donald Glover puts his whole ass into Yoshi.
Yeah.
Like just sells it.
Yeah.
And Chris Pratt can't be bothered.
Yeah, he's also there.
He is also there.
Which, like,
I do feel
what are you
good
doing,
about
man?
Todd. I do feel good about Todd pointing out that it's been a few days because I remember when we recorded this episode, there were like 3 things we said. That's post-show content. We'll talk about that in the post-show. And I don't remember what a single one of those is.
Single one.
No, listeners, get at us, specifically our own personal social media platforms.
If there was something,
just get us.
If there was something in the show that we were like, we'll talk about it in the post-show, and we don't hit it, sorry.
Tough. Yeah. I can be reached at T-Square87 on all platforms.
Yeah, you can. Sure, you can. The funniest thing, so again, to talk about a different podcast that isn't our podcast, my brother and me, they said how at one point one of them's like, well, this feels like it's leading to a Super Smash Bros movie, and Griffin goes, well, of course it is, like, yeah, and just and I had to laugh because I thought about it, and I'm like, well, do they go straight for Smash Bros? Do they do a Mario and Sonic Olympics first? And
what is that movie? What is that even of?
Nope.
No, if they zig instead of zag and don't do a Super Smash Bros movie and do a Sonic and Mario at the Olympics movie instead, that would be incredible. I would
Can
see it in
you
theaters.
Think about a thing that you want to see less than that. I think the real answer is
the Super Smash movie. That's what I want to see.
I want to see the Olympics movie less than the Smash movie. But I also think that it's worth mentioning that, and we probably talked about it in the old recording. I don't know. That was 5 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 days ago. I forget how many days ago.
An amount of time ago.
An amount of time.
Could have been never.
That Kyle had made the remark either in the show or when we were talking about this. The slop window will close. The window for slop, the asteroid of slop is zooming past the Earth, and we do have to glimpse it while we can. Yeah. Because it will be gone one day. And I feel like
slop is a finite resource.
Slop is a finite resource. Slop has an expiration date.
Slop is obviously it's a trendy term. Slop is the current trend among media right now. And it unfortunately has been pretty much since
time immemorial.
Well, specifically 2018.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that is that's the cutoff point. It's Marvel definitely is a milestone in there. I don't think it's the first domino, but it's definitely one of the dominoes.
Game of Thrones is a domino.
Yeah. Because it's everything that I've been yelling about on this podcast, which it's all of the reboots. It's all of every show has a revival. Every show has a podcast, a podcast going through with the two actors go through
the Talking Dead type pod.
Dead podcast.
An Office Girls
Talking Dead might have been the first ones to
that might be
Talking Dead was definitely an after show before calling after shows podcasts was a thing. That was TV content.
That is a good domino in this.
Andrew's not talking about, he's talking less about the Talking Dead and talking more about like Pod Meets World.
I'm talking about let's collectively rehash something that we did 30 years ago.
Yep.
It is the I think the singular sin that our generation will always have.
It's worth noting, though. I think there is a fine line, right?
It's our Reagan administration.
I think that's giving Gen X too much of a pass, because I think it's Gen X driving this more than millennials.
I think I disagree, Gen X trying to sell to millennials.
Yeah.
I think millennials are the target audience for the slop. And I'll go back and forth on whether or not we own that responsibility. But I do not think millennials are the primary producers of slop.
I think
unless
it's
we're
both.
talking about influencer culture, which I don't.
That's a whole
I think it's muddy.
Pile.
No, we actually might be talking more about the same thing than we think. I say that this is our generation's sin to bear because we are devouring it.
Yeah. Okay. I'd buy that.
And
Yeller's
because
of
the way Yeller's my dog and mine too, right? Because of the way media works in particular, you vote with your wallet, right?
Yeah.
And people watch the Star Wars nonsense, people watch the Marvel stuff, right? So I think people make it because they know it works for our generation.
I also want to bring up that, like, when we talk about slop, I mean, obviously this whole talk came about from what if we smash, pun intended, a bunch of characters together and we give you the movie that you know we're going to give you.
Yeah.
That is a thing that no one particularly asked for, at least not in the past 3 to 5 years. That I think there's a difference between, so superhero movies pull from source material to tell stories. And I think that is largely okay. What I've been a staunch defender of for a while is like when they tell a superhero story and then all the fucking nerds come out and go, which again, it's us, go.
We had a podcast, we did that for 2 years.
Yeah. That when all the nerds come out and go, well, that's not what happens in the comic book. That's where I would differentiate between telling a story and regurgitating slop. Like if you wanted to see,
it's a good point.
If you wanted
that's
to see
an adaptation.
Yeah. If you wanted to see the Infinity Saga and you wanted to see Thanos fall in love with Lady Death and kill half the universe because he's got a hard-on for Skeletor woman, then I get that. And they didn't tell that story. And, you know, I think that kind of is one of the differentiators between slop of like, we're telling you that story again. Remember that story? Remember it?
Yeah.
Here it is again. And here's a fun story that kind of has some beats, but is like a unique spin or a different tell or whatever. Now, I'll give you one more example, is that superhero stories, I think, can kind of get away with some of this. Doing prequels to Game of Thrones, whatever. The most egregious version is like, hey, do you guys remember when Dexter died on a boat? What if we give you 2 more seasons of different Dexter shows?
Yeah.
Like, that's the version of slop that I want to pinpoint down to be
what's the one
trash.
The one that drove me nuts was when they did the like Sex and the City prequel show. Is anyone
That's what got you?
That's what like
there was a prequel. I didn't know that was the thing.
It was named in a way that like you had to know Sex and the City real well to know it was a prequel, but it was like what Carrie Bradshaw did before she was the writer of her article Sex and the City.
Gotcha.
It was I mean, I didn't watch it. I won't say any judgment on it, but
I also think, and this is kind of where my compass north goes on like what is slop, what is not slop, is the first checkbox that I want to go for is this an original idea? Like that is to me where we're at on like, oh, you're gonna do that movie, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, we need that story again, huh?
Yeah, and it's hard because it is a gray line. It's a gray area. It's a fuzzy line.
I would like to point out 2 major dominoes, and I don't want to say that they are the first domino or the most important dominoes, but 2 significant dominoes near the beginning of the slopification of everything that I see is, I think a big one is Star Wars Episode 7. Not because Star Wars Episode 7 is slop. I think Star Wars Episode 7 is the only good one out of the new trilogy.
It opens the gate for all the member bears.
It opens the gate. And the next one, and follow me here, again, I am saying nothing about this movie in particular because this movie got a lot of hate that I don't think it deserved. But Ghostbusters in 2016 with Kristen Wiig et al.
Yeah.
I think Star Wars Force Awakens happens in 2015 and people are like, hey, maybe we can resell old movies. And then Ghostbusters happens in 2016 and we learn we can sell old movies, but you can't change it too much. And then we get Star Wars Episode 8 in 2017 where Rian Johnson tried to change it a lot and nobody was happy and the nerds
internet
prevailed.
The internet hated him.
I was happy. I liked.
Yeah, I was too.
I liked The Last Jedi.
I liked the second one. It's hard to like a second movie that is completely detached from the first and third movie.
Where do the Star Trek movies fit in this?
Here's my. I'm a casual Star Trek fan. My parents really like Star Trek. They like grew up going to Star Trek stuff, but are not like hardcore Trekkies. Both myself and my parents have liked all of the Chris Pine Star Trek movies and have found mostly all of them to be largely forgettable, but fine, which is pretty much Star Trek. Star Trek is pretty much slop from episode 1, season 1, and that's what makes it Star Trek. Like that it is.
I think the movies, I think the original movies are cinematic gold. The show is mostly just episode of Monster of the Week slop, but I think we don't need to talk about Star Trek. But
we don't need to talk about Star Trek.
I think the original movies make an exception, but sure.
All I'm saying is that I think that the Star Trek movies were fine and are also dominoes in this chain, but they don't feel like they informed the future slop movies. They were all unique.
I want my take here actually. So of the new Star Trek movies, I think the first one is, in my opinion, kind of similar to The Force Awakens. Not a bad re-entry, although it messes with the formula a bit in that it's way more of a like action movie than Star Trek ever should be or had been. The second one, I think, this is a early slopification entry.
Is that the one with Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan?
They just do Wrath of Khan again.
They just do.
I guess they kind of do Wrath of Khan again.
That's where I'm going. Is it's kind of Wrath of Khan again, but it's not even Wrath of Khan again. It's different Wrath of Khan, but we're gonna hit some iconic moments from the first one without context.
You are articulating what I was not able to, and that's where my mind went.
People want to hear Khan yelled.
Yes.
People want the like hand through the glass, so we see that. But a big complaint of that movie was like that those weren't earned. Kirk doesn't have a past with Khan like he does from the first version of that movie. So him like falling to his knees and screaming his name in rage makes no sense.
Forced.
And his relationship with Spock isn't earned either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 100%.
I think that's actually an important slop domino.
Slopino.
Slopino.
We're getting into, if you want to bake an apple pie, you have to first create the universe here. And if we're gonna like looking at the dominoes we've got, Star Wars Episode 1 is a domino.
God.
That opened the door of like, hey, just because these three movies wrapped and ended and we all tried to move on, we can open the door again and a whole bunch of money will fall out. They don't even have to be good. People didn't like those movies, and they made
that's exactly it.
$1 billion still.
And what a timely reference, because I think they just dropped a Darth Maul miniseries on Disney Plus.
Of course they did.
For what it's worth, like is supposed to be decent. I don't know. It's Clone Wars animation, which Clone Wars is good.
Everything Star Wars makes is a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Except for Andor. That's it. It's guaranteed to be okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think it's a fun thing, just to like a cultural touch point, that the Star Trek, the second movie with Chris Pine, the Benedict Cumberbatch Khan one, that throughout, I forget what it was called. It was not called
Into the
Batch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Into the Dark.
Sure. That in the PR presser for that, obviously you're not going to hide Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
And this might have been, at least for me, the first time that I saw this happen, where they're like, tell us about your character. He's like, I'm just a spaceman.
Yeah.
Like,
and everyone's like, oh, he's going to be Khan.
Entire presser being like, well, you're Khan. And he's like, yeah, I'm not Khan. Like, whole presser. Just like, I'm a spaceman. I'm a dude. I'm here. And like, that was at least the first time in my brain that I remember an actor hitting the press circuit with a very clear, like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not me. It's not me. And then he came out as Khan, and they're like, we got you. And everyone's like, you didn't get anyone. You
got nothing.
Yeah.
And there isn't a singular domino, and because there isn't a singular piece to this, right? Because the other thing, and it's the whole premise of this friggin' episode, which is I'm here to talk about the Avengers Initiative, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the other cornerstone to this slop house of cards.
Yeah. Well, and I wonder too, like, for us at the age we are, we're identifying things that are really 2000 and ahead. But like, Back to the Future 3 is slop. How many, like, we did a first one, we did a second one, let's make it a trilogy movies are slop. The Jurassic Park 3 is trash.
Oh, you want to stop at the third one?
That's the one with the dinosaur says Alan.
Alan, yeah. I'm gonna be pedantic and be like, we gotta differentiate between trash and slop. Trash and slop are different things.
Trash and slop are different things. There are certainly
a square can a rectangle.
Trash can be slop. Slop can be trash.
This is an interesting counterexample. Is when we were kids, we had that brief moment of making old TV shows into movies. The Brady Bunch movie.
Yep.
Bewitched. The Addams Family movie.
Yeah, you're right.
But all of those were jokes.
Yeah.
Right? Like they were the thing, but they were also decisively not the thing and not trying to be the thing.
And strangely enough, the one that I think I would bet all four of us enjoy and bucked the trend and probably gets put on our list of slop dominoes is the Scooby-Doo live action Scooby-Doo remake.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
was the first one that was
weird
like
fetish content.
That was the first one that was like
it was a solid introduction to Linda Cardellini.
Supposed to be a joke and still kind of was, but definitely much less so than its predecessors of like.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
Can I add another thing to this like differentiator of like
Todd.
slop and trash? So you talked about, I love this first off.
Yeah, actually, this is way better than what we were
podcast now.
This is great. Because I think we have to like have these different buckets, and it's a spectrum, and I don't know where one ends and the other one begins. But, you talked about like the Brady Bunch movie and the Bewitched movie and whatever. I think one of the major differences here is like filming a Brady Bunch movie takes no CGI. It's just those same people. It's a couple set dressings.
It's just a script and a couple set pieces. Yeah,
they probably take them to a resort at one point. Like there's not like there's.
You gotta
not
just get Gary Cole.
Right.
Just gotta get him in there.
There's not like a $100 million CGI like animation budget to that. It's like, oh, do you guys want to do this again? Like it's Even Stevens to Even Stevens movie. Like,
I actually think you're like the CGI point is a important part, not necessary for slop, but like
it goes on the rogues gallery. It is certainly one of the slopinos.
Part of what like we talked about with Star Trek Into the Dark, Star Trek Benny Comes, is
Benny comes, he comes.
When you have these like, we have this scene has to happen.
Yeah.
We don't care everything between
Into Darkness, not into the dark.
Sure, whatever.
That changed nothing in my life.
Well, I'm pretty sure I was conflating it with a Transformers movie, but please continue, Kyle.
Who would have called you out on that, Andrew?
Yeah.
Sorry, Kyle.
Go ahead,
Kyle. When you have these like, we have to have this scene, and whether it's because we're naming a character Khan, so we need Chris Pine to fall on his knees and yell Khan 3 times like the first movie, or it's because we've already rendered Iron Man fighting the Hulk and that cost us $30 million. That scene has to be in the movie because of that. It doesn't matter why, but like when I think a requirement of slop or a thing that makes it slop is like that we need to have this moment has to happen. The rest of the movie be damned. From a production standpoint, at least.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll go back to my prior point about like, Brady Bunch movie, Bewitched movie, whatever. I would add one more thing that I think is a major difference between that being slop and what we have now being slop is that the production time to make a Brady Bunch movie while Brady Bunch is still relevant is 6 to 12 months, maybe.
Yeah.
Like starting to filming, finish it, push it out. Whereas now, if you are trying to take a moment, a thing, a chunk of nostalgia, a property that people love right now, and you're like, oh shit, we got to juice this. We got to get it all out of here. What, 2 to 3 years at earliest to see whatever that product is turn back around?
I mean, I think the production for Captain America 4, Captain America Red Hulk, started 6 years at least. And sure, some of those were COVID years, but like,
yeah, sure.
There's a reason that movie had 8 rewrites, only being slightly hyperbolic. It's because we rendered Red Hulk destroying Washington D.C. That has to happen. Make the rest of the movie something people won't burn down Disney headquarters for.
Another major bullet here to point to is the pandemic. Ever heard of it?
Yeah.
So obviously Hollywood changed forever after the pandemic attacked. Theaters started losing money. People weren't going to theaters, but also streaming became more and more popular.
And let's be clear,
yada, yada.
theaters were hanging on by a thread before the pandemic.
Oh, absolutely.
The number 2 highest grossing movie in America post COVID is Spider-Man No Way Home. And the most famous part of that movie is watching people's reactions in the theater when they show Andrew Garfield the first time.
Yep.
When Andrew Garfield shows up and like there's a like pause for applause.
Yeah, oh yeah, they baked it into the movie.
And I know we've talked about this, we've done this to death, but it's pretty easy to make that thread to then hypothesize that, okay, at least big budget movies are at least in part being manufactured to replicate that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I not even knowing we'd kind of talk about this today, and I saw a like presser, a thing come out announcing a like sequel to Longlegs, the Nicolas Cage horror movie that came out semi recently.
Really?
Sure.
And the headline was like the Longlegs extended universe is announced or something.
No.
But that is how like that's how John Wick, like the John Wick ballerina spinoff was pitched. That's how like the 3 Megan movies were pitched. That's how The Conjuring has been sold to us for the like it's everywhere. And it comes back to what we started this with of like this bubble has to pop eventually where like something universe is poison. Is radioactive to the movie.
You can't say it.
And it will. It just like everything, just like Facebook, our parents will start doing it and then it'll become unpopular. Like 6-7.
I was gonna raise this up too, that like when we're talking about universes and giving people the things that they want, like we enjoy Marvel movies. I said that they're like a different version of slop if they're not just retelling the same story. But I'd say this, Andrew, you said the highest grossing since the pandemic was No Way Home. Obviously, nostalgia fest and like a fun
second, because the number 1 is Avatar. I don't ever want to talk about Avatar.
Sure. Can't how? First off, and also
because it's a psyop. We don't need to talk about it, but it's
nothing.
That Matt's correct.
What I was going to say is that like look no further than, so this might go to what you said and what Kyle said of like the such and such universe needs to be radioactive. look no further than what we're careening towards at the end of this year, that if we do get Doomsday, the next Avengers movie at the end of this year, do you remember when Endgame came out? Do you remember like approximately the time? That was a whole 2 weddings ago of this podcast.
Yeah.
The last Avengers movie came out in April 2019.
Yeah, man.
And it's going to be of 7.5 years since they had an Avengers movie, just to like crank out another one, even though they know those are gold.
Yeah.
And so like, I guess the thing that I would say of it is that like, if the house of cards of like cinematic universes is toxic and going to fall apart, then we either have the firmest support beam coming in December or the last nail in the coffin.
Or
it is the
harking of the end.
It is one or the other, because the money that they're spending on that movie and
it could legitimately bankrupt Disney at
correct.
this point.
They would fire even more people.
I think Disney's a little too big to fail at this point.
They'll find some orphans to squeeze gold coins out of.
It could be the end of. I mean, I think it could end the superhero trend.
Yeah, I would say if nothing else, if it does not do great, I won't say like world record, but like really, really, really good.
If it doesn't make its astronomical budget back.
If it
has to make its budget back, and it has to be good. Like I don't think we like consider anyone would consider like watching the next one if it's bad, right, even if it makes its money back. Like,
well, and what I was gonna say is that like, I'm gonna say this with the most exasperated sigh beforehand. We are, and this is, I'm gonna give you a good and then a bad. The good is that we are, for the first time in a very long time, free from the burden that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe roadmap, right? If you remember, if you can hearken back to the simpler days of 2017, 2018-ish, when they're like, here's the next 4 years of movies, or even slop like pigs.
2021, when we were standing on the brink of 17 movies and 5 Disney Plus shows a fiscal quarter.
But the point is, there's a lot of talk of like, there are movies that are coming, but we don't talk about them yet. And part of me wonders if they're like, we want to make sure this finished product before we get to like the full, VFX polishing. We want to make sure we got a real good banger before we start to tease what else is going to come after it, because like we said, this is the thing.
I think there's two parts, and it's they want to avoid another Jonathan Majors.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. He was doing like a right-wing propaganda movie.
He's doing a Daily Wire
Oh God, movie. He fell out of a window and he blamed the libs.
He and Zachary Levi are doing it's woke sinners, whatever that means.
Hell yeah,
God.
Man.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Anti-woke sinners.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So thank you.
So I'll say this just real quick. So again, at this point in time, to show you how I'll come out and say it, how scared Disney is, because they fear the end of this whole thing gestures wildly. Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out this summer. The only other movies currently announced are Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret War. No other movies are announced, like nothing.
Yeah. And Blade.
There's only going to be one Blade, Andrew. Mahershala Ali is just sitting there collecting residuals as they have to keep him on their retainer.
He comes home every day. He comes home. He checks his voicemail. To see if he has a message.
And even like the Disney Plus shows, I think I saw a handful of ads. The week
they
before
this
new Daredevil season came out, and like the most I heard about it was maybe Matt said it was pretty good.
I just started it before we started this recording.
Great.
Yeah, it might have been me. I like it. I actually really like it. And had they been doing things like this the whole time, I think that if they had been like, maybe we don't need to connect every fucking thing.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Maybe we just let stories be stories.
Well, that was, I mean, if we're talking Daredevil, like that was the appeal. That was what was great about those first handful of like
two
Netflix
seasons.
shows was like,
they were just,
hey, this is its own thing. And then people big part of people don't know what they want. People think they know what they want and they don't. And as soon as like we got two episodes of two seasons of those shows, people started being like, now what if so-and-so comes in to fight Thanos at the last minute? It's like, you don't want that. I promise you do not want these to tie back into the greater universe, because that's what makes them special, is that they're not.
A couple years ago, one of our season openers was which dice is the best dice. And I made the argument that if you give someone more than 4 options, they become overwhelmed. And I think that's a perfect answer to why the Netflix series of shows didn't work so well, because we gave you about 3 to 4 really good options of main characters to latch onto. You had Daredevil, you had Kingpin, you had Jessica Jones, you had Luke Cage. We gave you a 5th option, which is Danny Rand. And that was when we're like, you gave us too much. Yep. No one wanted this. Also, there's other issues here, but we don't. I would like to send this back.
It's another Marvel. It's a Fox Marvel, but it's a Marvel. The one that drove home for me of like, oh, people don't know what they want. Was when I think Deadpool 2 was announced, and people started like speculating how it was gonna reference the MCU all these cool crossover things they could do, and they were all balls. They were all just no. We don't need Deadpool popping into every MCU movie now that we've established this.
Yeah, he's already in Magic the Gathering every month.
You would hate that. And but like for 3 months after that was announced, that was a thing you'd see under every Marvel discussion. It was like, and then Deadpool could be there. And it's like, you don't know what you want. Because you get two of those like Deadpool cameos in a like quote unquote serious MCU movie, and you're gonna hate the character.
It's
before like before the next movie even.
Yeah,
comes
people
out.
keep asking, "Where's Poochie? Why isn't Poochie on the screen more? Poochie's not around. We gotta ask about him." I thought you were gonna say, Kyle, the worst version of the Fox universe, where it started to truly nosedive, because First Class, good movie. First Class.
I love
First Class, great movie.
Really good movie.
Yeah.
Days of Future Past, what I would say is maybe one of the best ways to scratch the nostalgia itch. Yeah. Days of Future Past.
They thread the needle quite well on that, and they have no idea how. They have no idea.
They've never been able to replicate it.
It's because the ending was literally, and everything ended up fine. We can all walk away now.
Yeah.
And then they did Apocalypse, which, if you remember this era, they announced it as Age of Apocalypse, but then Marvel rushed out Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
And so then they had to change their name to just like Apocalypse or whatever. I have not seen that movie beginning to end. I couldn't tell you all the beats that happened, but I know it was a bad movie. And I know it's a bad movie because then they rushed out the Phoenix one that was even worse somehow. So like, that to me is like, you rushed a thing because you're like, oh shit, we got to tell the Apocalypse story. This we have to do that now. And then you're like, no, he's so cool, and what are you doing?
Apocalypse.
It goes to Kyle's piece. Sorry, real quick. It goes to Kyle's piece of like Kyle saying you got to get to the thing.
Yeah,
you have to get
Spider-Man
to the thing.
3.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3.
Sorry, Matt.
You're fine. Apocalypse is actually pretty decent. It's not as bad as you think.
It's okay.
Dark Phoenix is bad.
Dark Phoenix is bad. Fell asleep on a plane 3 times to
40
it.
minutes, and this is just a post show, and they're usually 40 minutes long. So I just wanted to say that. Out loud.
That's fair.
Dear listeners, join us on our new podcast called Slopinose, where it's an investigational. Nope, it's Slopinos. It's an investigational podcast where we determine what is the first domino in the slop pie.
Everybody every week, one of us brings a movie, and we for 4 movies we argue, is this slop or not, and then pause the recording.
What are you guys playing and watching that aren't slop?
No, dear listeners, please join us on the podcast, which is 4 dudes in their mid to back half of their 30s talking about how media doesn't scratch the itch for them anymore.
Yeah,
that's what this is.
This isn't for me anymore. Yep.
Yeah.
We did it.
I'm playing No Man's Sky a lot. It's good.
I see that. And like today alone, I saw like Andrew's playing No Man's Sky. 15 minutes later, Andrew's playing No Man's Sky.
Well, the reason for that is I'm trying to build a spaceship, and between every call that I had, I was like,
hell yeah, man.
Putting 3 more steps into building my Lego spaceship.
Hell yeah, dude.
I love that for you. That's so good. I'm not really playing anything new right now. I'm professionally like finishing up a certification that I'm so close to being done with, and that's kind of draining my soul. And so I am taking a sick day. I hope my boss doesn't listen to the post show. I'm taking a sick day on Friday, and I'm probably just gonna like dive deep into some game, or maybe just sit in a quiet room. I don't know.
Fun.
This is where I will. It is April. It's a new month contractually. I have to remind everyone I still want to do the Debate This Baldur's Gate run. I dream of that before the end of the year. I'll throw that out there.
Cool.
I'm playing Overwatch. There's a new hero. She's fine. I watched the Louis Theroux doc.
Yeah, man.
And like, boy, do I not have the bandwidth to unpack all of that right now. But man, the kids really need a new wishbone. That's all I'm saying.
I also can't unpack it, though I want to talk about it. And the only thing I want to say about it is that the thing that gives me great hope is that the red pill manosphere, shittiest dudes you could ever see with platforms, they all crumble after about 90 seconds of critical questions. And that brings me a little bit of joy. However, we have to make sure that this next generation has 90 seconds of an attention span to get there.
Yeah, I only have seen clips of it so far, and that was also a takeaway. Was like there will have to be a moment where like at least some of these kids that are like watching this in their impressionable years will then be shown by someone else like, hey, here's this person you like absolutely biting it. As soon as anyone who disagrees with their point of view pushes back the tiniest bit, and like hopefully that will start to part the clouds a bit.
Well, and to that point, to not talk about the red pill manosphere shitbags more than we have to, that Clavicular, the guy that hits his face with a hammer to look pretty.
Yeah.
He has been interviewed within the last month twice, one by Channel 5 News.
Yep.
Andrew Callahan. And then just recently 60 Minutes Australia.
Yep. Oh.
And in both of them, he walked off the interview early.
Yeah.
When he was like, you don't really want to interview me. This isn't a big deal. I'm leaving. And the funnier version of it is that the 60 Minutes Australia, they brought in like the most handsome interviewer, like the most chiseled, beautiful Australian man.
That rules.
Who's like sitting there. And at one point, the piece of shit, Clavicki or whatever, is like, well, that's why like your wife like cheats on you. And he's like, Clav, I'm not married, man. Like it's such like you can just tell this dude is used to just talking into an echo chamber. As soon as he pushed back, he's like, well, I'm done here.
The clip I saw was the interviewer asking him, like, are you mogging on me now? And he like couldn't. He's like, I could be. How are you mogging on me? Well, so what do you think? How do you think I'm mogging on you? Is like, I don't. But how, like, do you think you're and I couldn't answer the question. Yeah. And it was
to echo Matt's point, everyone should go watch the Louis Theroux doc on Netflix.
I don't think I want to. It sounds like a bummer.
No, it's good.
Okay.
It is kind of a terrifying bummer.
Sounds like a terrifying bummer.
But
Clavicular's not in it.
Clavicular is not in
this.
it. All the guys are in the UK. And Louis Theroux. I mean, it's just Louis Theroux just dismantles these losers for
just by
90
talking
minutes.
to them.
Yeah, but it's shit, man. We need a new Wishbone, you know.
We need a new Wishbone.
We need a new Wishbone.
I started Final Fantasy VI. Started that again.
Hey.
I'm trying to pull my attention away from running Slay the Spire runs to stick with it. What have I watched? We watched the Merrily We Roll Along musical capture. Like they filmed a stage production of it, like the Hamilton one, but it's on Netflix.
Oh, cool.
Daniel
That's
Radcliffe is one of the leads. Jonathan Groff is one of the leads. It's very good.
I wish they did more of that. I know there's like weird tie-ups with like shows being on Broadway and yada yada.
No one would spend money to go see shows live if they did.
That's their argument.
That is their
disagree.
argument, and I can't say they're completely wrong, but also yes, I would not pay to go see shows if they did that. But also,
you're not paying to go see shows
I'm
now.
Not currently paying to go see shows.
That's where I'm on the side of like it would. You would if you were had a steady stream of like new stage recordings
in it.
Yeah, it's true.
The likelihood one of those comes to town and you're like, hey, we're free that weekend.
Yeah,
we liked this. Let's go see it.
Yeah,
I think would go up.
That's kind of I think when we saw Hamilton when it came through Columbus, I think it had already been on Disney.
Yeah. The other problem is like they typically like do this after the main cast has left the Broadway production, and you have to effectively do the show 3 or 4 times to get like everyone in the right no one hit the wrong cue, everyone hit the right notes. Okay, now we're gonna shoot just this person alone on stage to get like the great like solo shots of them. Like it's a arduous process. You have to bring these like Broadway stars back in, and you can't do like a movie shooting schedule where like you shoot the star on their own for a day and then you can shoot everything else. Everyone's got to be there for like the 3 days you're shooting it or whatever.
They said that when they did Hamilton, they did one that was just like a live audience.
Yeah.
And then 2 other runs. One was like camera up in everyone's face for specific from one angle, camera from the other angle, and then they split them all together.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But Merrily We Roll Along is very good. You should watch it.
I did forget to say, and I said this before we started recording, I wanted to bring it up. People should be watching Invincible. Invincible is really, really good.
That's the other one. I've picked Invincible up where I left off, which was at the end of season 1. And I'm going through season 2 now.
Season 1 is where Nolan leaves Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 2, we just met his bug wife and son.
Yeah, you did. It is. Having read the graphic novel is fine. The story is pretty good, but it's definitely like it's got too much edgy. Like
it's from the early 2000s.
Yep, it's got edgy 2000s written solely by men without consultation of anyone else. And I am thrilled to say that in the TV adaptation, they cut a ton of that. Like they really do say like, no, we're going to tell a good story here. And I think
they fix as much as they can while keeping the story intact. Like,
yes,
there are absolutely things you can fix beyond what they've fixed, but like it's way better on like arguably decent as far as like representation and such goes.
Yeah, the thing that I will tell you is if Invincible could be a TV show for you, if you like superhero comic shows that are like kind of a grittier version of like, what if superheroes aren't just perfect and things are bad? The other thing is that I know you said
but it doesn't have the like, but everyone is terrible. Like there are redeemable
like
people. It is
not like the boys.
It is different than the boys. Because I can't
watch
sit through the boys.
I'm finishing the last season of The Boys right now, and it is at the point where truly everyone is terrible.
Yeah.
There is like 1 or 2 fully redeemable characters there, and that's about it. But the point I was going to say is that the other thing that Invincible is very, very fun about, and this is why I think it is a fun show, because I like this. I loved Arrested Development for remember that thing that happened a season and a half ago?
Yeah.
It's called back now, and it's incredibly relevant.
Oh, sure.
And Invincible keeps throwing those in, where a little plot line from like season 1 will kind of like wither away, and then it just slaps you in the face again. You're like, oh shit, that's right. We're not done with that. And I think that's fun. I like that. Nice. I like a living universe.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone watch Invincible. Don't watch The Boys or whatever.
Go read Wishbone.
Yeah.
Go touch grass. Go read Wishbone. Go critically question the shittiest man you know in a public place.
Yeah.
Do we make the Kids Need Wishbone sticker? Is that what we do next?
I like
Could
that.
be. I can start cooking on one.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.